Namaste, everybody, and welcome to the new BAVA conference planned for April and May of 2023. That's barely a month away from now. So, let me bring you up to date with what we are planning. Normally, we have been having BAVA conferences in London, and it has been an opportunity to meet some of the best Jyotish minds in the world. But because of COVID, BAVA went online, and we have been having this Zoom webinars, and we will continue to have that even for this year. The reason being, various factors have been taken into account by the organizers. One may be the cost of the flight tickets, second could be the cost of the hotels, third could be the global economic scenario. And keeping all these factors in mind, the organizers felt that maybe it is best to ease into the contact mode again rather than everybody coming to London. It is better that we do it online this year at least. So the conference theme is Rahu and Ketu. These are the nodes of the moon and have been subject to various studies till now in various forums. Jyotishi are not new to the fact that Rahu and Ketu are extreme tamas planets. And what we are going into is studying the different combinations, the different yogas, understanding what these nodes are and how they impact our lives, and the role that they play in showing us our paths, our pain, our suffering, our relationships. Every kind of a karmic experience is attributed normally to a node. So let's get into the conference details. The dates are 22 to 23 April. You can see that on the right hand side. Then 28 to 30 April, 1st May, and 7 to 8th May. These dates are planned along the weekends so that it is convenient for you to attend the conference wherever you are in the world. We do not want you to be skipping your jobs or missing any of the conference dates. That's the reason why it was planned for the weekends. To accommodate multiple time zones, there will be 3 lectures a day, starting from 1 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. UK time. This time the organizers have found to be the most convenient time where people globally can attend and also view the conference. Now, this time may not be very convenient for some of the people in the United States, but nothing to worry. It's a Zoom webinar, so you can listen live, or once you have booked, you will get the recordings of the day of the conference approximately by the end of May. So either way, the conference recordings will be available for you to download and store. As usual, BAVA has a very brilliant list of outstanding speakers. I'm starting the conference. I'm Sanjay Rath, and Andrew Foss, the president of BAVA, is also one of the lead speakers, with Sarbani Rath, Visti Larsen, Komila Sutton. Komila, as you know, has been in this line for many years now. She has been spearheading BAVA into new horizons, and especially she is known to be an expert in Rahu and Ketu. We have Vijay Goel, Bill Sinclair, Vijay Subramaniam, Raman Suprajarama, Niranjan Babu, Keiko Ito, Paul Barker, Shanati, Geoffrey Pierce, Gordon Brennan, Dilip Kumar, and Pandit Samavedulu to bless the conference. Now let's get into a few more details. I'll be speaking about my papers, and hopefully the other speakers will also put up little promos which will speak about their papers. My focus is in the Vedic Surbhanu. That was the name of Rahu in the Vedas. The Vedic Surbhanu is the undying power of the dark forces. There are 8 demon tribes, and Rahu is the commander-in-chief of these 8 tribes. So we will be learning more about Surbhanu and what exactly does that name imply. We start that on the 22nd April at 1 p.m. British time. The object is to know Rahu, he is the messenger of darkness, and compare him with Shubhapati, the lord of the moon sign, the giver of longevity. It's a very strange connection between Rahu and the moon. The moon is the giver of longevity. She is the populator of Bhuloka, whereas Rahu is the giver of death. So these 2 planets are in perpetual collision course. Let's see how this works out, how this pans out in the charts. On the next day, I continue the topic on Surbhanu and talk about the forms of Rahu and Ketu. Basically, when we talk about the nodes, we are talking about animal forms. You see, when we talk about Rahu, we are talking about a head without a trunk, without a body, something like a ghost. Whereas when we talk of Ketu, we are talking about a trunk without a head. And either in these cases, they indicate creatures or mythological creatures which have a strong bearing on our psyche. So if we can study some of these forms that the ancients used to worship, there is the cat goddess of the Egyptians, there is the Narasimhi of the Indians. They are so similar. So let's get more into these forms. There is Garuda, who is worshipped so much in Indonesia as well as in India among the Vaishnavas. So let's learn about these forms on the 23rd April. My next set of papers are on 2 topics, Charakaraka and Maranakaraka Sthana. What are the implications of Rahu as Charakarakas? Most of you are aware that there are 8 Charakarakas. They are for the 8 planar directions which guide our life. And these 8 Charakaraka can have Rahu as one of the Charakarakas. Somebody could have Rahu as an Atmakaraka, as in Thakur Ramakrishna or Srila Prabhupada. And somebody can have Rahu as Amatya Karaka. So what are the implications of Rahu as different Charakaraka in your horoscope? What really does it do? How is it different from the other graha? This is what we will be going into. My next topic is Maranakaraka Sthana, which is on the 1st and the 7th of May. Charakaraka is on 28th and 30th April, again at 1 p.m. British time. On the 1st and 7th of May at 1 p.m. I'll be presenting some new findings about Maranakaraka Sthana. Many years back I had introduced this topic. Of course, it took a few years as usual for Jyotishi to accept it, and having taught it with the shlokas, it is now fully accepted as a necessary part of Jyotish. Similarly, many years back, almost 2 decades back, more than 2 decades back, I had introduced a topic, Arudha. And that time, I think only person who used Arudha a little bit was Dr. Raman. And subsequently, it is now very popular, very accepted, and you can see it's all over the internet. It is time that the Maranakaraka Sthana took a different level. We learned to see planets in houses, something very simple. What is the implication of certain planets in certain houses? And what is the new finding about it? What else does it mean about Marana? Is it death? Does it imply somebody dying? Karaka, is it a significator that's dying? And Sthana is the house. Does this also work in the Vargas? We need to examine all these things. So we have 2 days to cover this topic. With that, let me give you my view of how you should be planning this BAVA Online. It's different. You have had BAVA Online last year. So some of you are conversant with the online methods. But when we talk of BAVA Online, the first thing for you to do is to talk to your Jyotish friends about BAVA. Let them know that this conference is coming up, and maybe all of you as a group can sign up. If many of you sign up as a group, there is a certain advantage that you will have, and I'll show it to you what it is. You can make a Telegram group to continue discussions on my topics. Particularly my topics, I am responsible, and it's up to you. You make a group, you start discussions on these topics. It's about Rahu, a topic. On each of the topics you can have separate Telegram groups. On Marana Karakasthana you can have a Telegram group. Once having done this, please do not add me straight away. You can add me later. Buy the conference at www.bava.org. Now this is non-negotiable. You should have purchased a ticket to attend all the webinars, and this you can do at the website www.bava.org. You will receive a link for the Zoom webinar, and that link should be valid for all your webinars. Mark the date in your calendar. The date and the time you must mark in your calendar. It is best if you can attend it live. I have always seen that those who attended conferences face to face have benefited the most. Second is a live conference, a live webinar. And third would be a review of the webinar by going through it again, by going through the slides again. Attend the live webinar, make extensive notes and list your doubts and questions. It is natural that you will have doubts. If you don't have any doubts, if you don't have any questions, either you did not really understand it or you could not grasp all that was being communicated. You are bound to have doubts. You save the recordings. These recordings will be available by the end of May. You must save them and study the recordings again. Some of the doubts will get cleared, but you really do not know unless you try this on various charts. So basically, when you have a study group, what happens is the opinions of various other Jyotishi will be shared over there, and we can go ahead and discuss this. Group discussions in the chat groups are very helpful. Your knowledge grows in leaps and bounds, so don't miss this. Do not think that just because you attended a webinar, you got it all. Prepare a document to present your doubts. You will still may have some lingering doubts, some things that may have cropped up in your mind. Make a document, a nice document, to present your doubts, and always voice the doubts with a chart, because that's how we work. Now, once having done this, you say somebody wants that I should personally address their group, then the group can book a time for group discussions to clear the doubts and answer your questions. You can book time, just like I do readings. I can also do group discussions with your group. So that's how the learning will become knowledge. Let's enjoy this BAVA conference. Let's really make this happen. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you will join the conference and enjoy it. Thank you.